This is the brand new MJX 14209. It's a 1/14 scale mini rock racer, and I think it has potential to be the best RC car we have seen from MJX so far. Now, even though on the Banggood website it states that this is a 1/16 scale car, like the previous ones, this isn't. This is actually larger, and this is a 1/14 scale. So this is a little bit larger compared to some of the other models I featured on my channel, and because of this, I'm hoping it's more capable. Now, that said, all of those trucks also perform really well, and I've never really had a bad thing to say about them. So stick around, because today we're going to find out if this car has the potential to be the next best cheap RC car. So first up, let's take a look at what we get in the box. So we have got our black and white manual, and MJX manuals always seem to impress. We've always got the parts listed at the back and exploded diagrams. We've got a USB charger, a screwdriver and a cross wrench. Now with this we get a 25C 3000 mAh 2S LiPo. This should give us decent runtime. We've got the typical MJX style transmitter. Now these things are quite nice. They feel nice to hold. We've got a nice foam grip on the wheel. As you would expect, you've got your steering trim. We've also got our throttle trim adjustment as well. And what's nice about these is you can adjust your speed. On the speed switch, we've got a 70% or 100%, and that is good if you want to turn the power down. I've never had an issue with these, and they're so much better compared to the version 1 transmitters. Finally, we've got a spare set of wheels and tyres. Now these things are a much softer compound compared to the included wheels and tyres. They're also slightly larger, but yeah, these are nice to have, and I think these will perform well off-road. So back to the 14209 then. Now styling wise, well, I think we can all see this is based on the Losi Hammer Ray. It's pretty much identical, apart from being a lot smaller. Now this isn't the first time we have seen MJX take some inspiration from some of the more popular larger models. We've seen the Mini Creighton, the Mini Savage lookalike, the Mini Infraction, and then obviously today we're taking a look at the Losi inspired Mini Rock Racer. Now I think the guys at MJX are incredibly clever here, because they know a lot of people can't afford those bigger expensive models, and if they come out with a much smaller version which is affordable, people are going to buy them. So I think what we'll do is we'll get the body clips off, we'll take a closer look underneath, we'll see if there's been any changes to the electronics and the chassis, and then we'll get it out for a run. So this is the body then. Now this thing is really cool. We've got a full-size spare on the back. We've also got a driver in there. We've got the LED lights, which I have disconnected for the moment, but I will fire those up and show you what they look like. So under the body then, now this thing looks very similar to the Mini Infraction and the Mini Lancia Delta versions. Pretty much everything is exactly the same. Now we've got a 2852 sized brushless motor. We've also got a heatsink and fan. Down here we've got a 45 amp 2 to 3S ready ESC. Here we have a 2.2 kilogram steering servo, and I've never had an issue with steering on any of my MJX vehicles. Now this is a little bit different. I haven't seen this before. This time we have got a waterproof receiver box, which is mounted on top of the center brace. Now this is a nice new addition, and I think that's a really good idea. So we've got plastic front and rear bumpers, very nice silky smooth adjustable oil filled shocks. We've got metal CVDs front and rear, metal center drive shaft, adjustable turnbuckles, a metal chassis, a nice spacious battery tray with velcro straps, and finally the wheels and tyres. Now these are quite a firm compound compared to the spare tyres that you get in the box. These are a little bit firm, but they should still grip really well. And that's pretty much it. If you want to check out the full spec, I will leave a link down below so you can head over to Banggood. Right, so I've now got the battery fitted and I've got the body back on. Let's take a look at the LED lights. Now we can switch these on using the channel 3 button on the transmitter. These things look really cool and they really add to the scale appearance. Right, so let's do the 2S speed test first. Let's see what we can achieve. But this does feel quick on 2S. And I'm still running the smaller tyres as well. I want to test this thing exactly how it comes out the box. And I know people are going to say, well, you should fit the bigger tyres, they're a larger diameter, so you will be able to go quicker. And of course that is true, but I like to test cars exactly the way they come out the box. I find that is a fairer test, and I'll probably do a follow-up video later on. So let's bring this back, let's see what we got on 2S. Now we've got 27 miles per hour, which is pretty much exactly the same as the buggy, the truggy and the monster truck version. So yeah, not too bad. Right, so next up, let's see how fast it will go on 3S. I think we're gonna see mid to high 30s. Let's give it a go. Now I think we're gonna see high 30s, maybe even 40. I'd like to see 40 out of this. Now with the hard compound tyres, it is a bit more of a challenge to control. I think these softer compound tyres would be the best bet with this. We'll do a couple more passes and we'll bring it back and see what we got. Now the performance you get out of these little cars these days is so much better than what you would have got like 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. You would have had to have paid so much more money to get a car that would offer similar performance. Right, let's send it out one more time. We'll bring it back and see what we got. We're going to stop, read 40. Yes, that is an impressive little speed. And that is pretty much exactly the same as the other cars in the Hypergo range. Now, shortly after doing the speed runs, I decided to get this thing out off-road and just take a look at how good this thing performed. It handled the dirt really well and the handling was fantastic. Now, because these trucks are slightly heavier, they do perform better off-road. In my opinion, having that extra weight does make them more stable. And compared to something like the Hiboxin 16889, it definitely feels more stable off-road compared to that. But of course, this truck is more expensive, but I think it's worth the money. Now again, like I mentioned earlier on the speed run section of this video, I didn't fit the larger wheels and tyres to do the off-road test. I like to test cars the way they turn up to my door, and I don't really like to change anything around. Now on the truggy version, which I do have on the way, I think those wheels and tyres actually come pre-fitted, so we'll be able to see what sort of speeds and what performance we get off-road with the truggy. Now this thing is really good at doing this, and overall, it just performs great. Now I really can't find any issues with this truck whatsoever, and I'm not saying this because this was sent to me for free. The majority of cars are sent to me for free on my channel, apart from the high-end stuff, and if I find something wrong with a product, I always let you know. I don't know how they're doing it, but MJX just keep improving, and they just keep impressing. So there we go then guys, that was the MJX 14209. Fantastic work MJX. I think this thing does have the potential to be really, really popular. Now, as long as they keep this thing priced low, it's gonna sell well. The styling's really cool, it performs well off-road, and it does have a really good top speed of 40 miles per hour. And all of that is really incredible considering how cheap these cars actually are. Now, if you're not a fan of this one or you're looking for something slightly cheaper, I have already reviewed all the MJX Hypergo range on my channel, and I will leave some links down below. So let me know in the comments section what you think of this cool little rock racer. I've also got the truggy on the way, and I'm really looking forward to reviewing that one. Cheers for watching, see you on the next one. Take care.